Feeling burnt out, tired, sick of everything? I got you. Today, let's bring in some feelings of hope and faith. If you are new here, hi, my name is Veruca Cyn and I'm a mystic and fashion designer. I'm here to help bring empowerment and protection to those of you who find me and need a voice like mine. To those of you who are already subscribers. Hi, my Cynners. Choose between two lipsticks. Pile 1. You got the golden black lipstick. Oh, this is not even a lipstick. It's a pipe. Okay. Pile 2. You are an actual lipstick. Your Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick, $4.77 in Black Cherry. Oh, so sensual.
Ew woo.
Okay. Take your time to decide, and I'll see you in your pile. If you feel called to choose more than one pile, you may pick both. I'll see you there. Alright, my pile ones. This is your reading. Let's look at the cards, shall we? So, in no particular order, you have Velpicula, Sly Predator, Deceptive Motives, Cepheus, Foolish Involvement in Petty Actions. Then you have the Hierophant, Taurus, Traditional Philosophy, Practice Systems, Ownership, 21, Black Hole, Drain of Resources, Dangerous Undercurrent. This seems to be telling me what you're losing hope and faith in, and I think the last 3 are going to be insight. We'll see. We got Karina, a risk to structure, stress, potential, damage, and that's 5 of air. We got Knight of Air, Orion, skill, arrogance, vanity. And your last card is, I'm not sure what, 5 of Jupiter. It says Jupiter, conversation, persuasion, charisma. Okay, give me a little moment and I'm gonna go and look at these and channel your messages. Messages of hope and faith for pile 1, please. What are the messages of hope and faith? So I'm literally hearing doggy dog world. You've been feeling really under the weather by the state of the world with how everyone's just at each other's necks. Everyone's always grumpy. People are showing the worst versions of themselves. And it just feels like a black hole just sucking everything in, and it's been very emotionally draining for you. I hear for your spirit guides to suggest for you to protect your energy by meditating and taking salt baths to neutralize your aura and protect your energy, to refresh and recharge your energy canvas. Okay, your auric field. And in particular, these people who are acting out like this are people close to you. It's either people you work with, loved ones, friends, family. Maybe if you're married or you have family or you have children, then it's like your loved ones, like your spouse or maybe your child, your children. It's like people you care about, and you don't feel like, you feel like they're too depressed to be appreciative of what it is that you have to offer to them, or they're not even able to be present in the moment. So messages of hope and faith for you, pile 1. I think you need to inject fun back into your life again. You should try to see if vacation paid time off is something that you can afford or if you can arrange a weekend to go out with family. For instance, if you have a family, you can go arrange for like camping out in a VR, like a van, but like renting out a van to camp out in and spending time in nature to reground yourself again, and also connect everyone back to being in the present moment. Because when you're out camping, there's not a lot of things you can really do. I mean, you can stay on your phone all day, but even then it's kind of boring, and it's hard to stay on the phone all day when you're surrounded in such beautiful scenery, like the river, a lake, you know, the sunset. And I think that will really help discharge a lot of this high anxiety energy you're feeling. And if you can't afford to go camping, if you have enough space in your backyard, this is what I plan to do very soon. For you to go camping out in your backyard, set up a tent. You know, I think a tent is fairly inexpensive if you are working, and you can save up. I think it's like maybe $50 is like a relatively generic price for a tent that can fit up to like 4 or 5 people. So you can look into that, or even buy used tents and go out in nature, go in the backyard and set up your tent and have a little barbecue and camping session. I think it'll do you really good. And I hear play board games. So pile 1, what you're missing is actual social interaction, one-on-one bonding time, quality time spent in social interaction with loved ones and with friends and family. Yeah, a lot of this quarreling, there's a lot of like cabin fever vibes, and like people are kind of all over the place and not really grounded, and everyone's kind of caught up with their own like problems of stress from work. And school. Yeah, there's a very heavy family vibe in this pile. Or if you're not a parent, then you are a student yourself and you're feeling all this. So it might do you some good to suggest to go camping with family, or at least have a barbecue in the backyard, and then, you know, have a little glamping session with yourself or your friends. You can invite them over if social quarantining and whatnot is okay with you, like removing that barrier, because I know we're going through some pretty awkward times right now. I'm gonna make sure I'm recording. Okay, I was recording. I just want to be sure. Okay, I'm gonna pull some extra cards for hope and faith. Messages of hope and faith, please, for pile 1. You got 1 of air, microscopium, detection, detailed scrutiny, and water page, Columba, message of peace and hope. You saw me shuffle that. I did not pull that out of my butt. You see that, right? So I'm literally hearing, let things just be like water under the bridge. I know during moments like in times like this, it's very easy to bring up a lot of trigger towards one another. And so I would say for pile 1 to actively practice forgiveness, even if you have bursts of anger or moments of like fits of rage. I'm hearing, because I'm personally feeling it. I relate so much with you, pile 1. So yeah, it's to be patient with one another and try your best not to take it personally. Yeah, because I'm hearing a message of those who are coming into awakening during this time period of their life. You will be challenged in the sense you will be faced with oppositions of older thought patterns and actions and behavioral dynamics through friends and family, and even colleagues and work colleagues. Because I know the 888 portal passed recently, like literally a day ago, and Although this is a timeless reading for those of you who are currently watching during 888, or if you're watching it in 888 of next year, you're passing through this change. There's a shift here, and it's calling for you to do deeper inner healing and shadow work. And these triggers are actually moments and opportunities for you to face them. You're coming into a deeper awakening and ego death here, pile 1. And these things that you're being upset at other people for, and other people are being upset at you for, they're actually really old wounds that have been caused during like earlier parts of childhood, or like younger years of the connection together, whether it be friends or family bonding, or even like a wound from like a bad experience that you've gotten in the workforce, so to speak. So take this as an opportunity to reflect and heal. And for those who are not yet into awakening, but they're just living their day-to-day lifestyle, this is an opportunity for you to not further sink back into your habits and repeating your ruts, you know, like being stuck in a rut sort of vibe, and allowing things to be stagnant, or allowing connections and relationships to become stale by repeating the same sort of conflicts and petty behaviors and like being at each other's neck sort of dynamic. Now it's the opportunity to really reflect and think about that, and to see if you want to take the next step towards a new direction of change and shifting the way you do your dynamics and water under the bridge, whether or not, or even letting ship sail, literally, because there's Noah Ark on here, letting the ship sail. Maybe you need to sail the ship, you know? Maybe you need to let bygones be bygones and then find new companionship as well. That could be also a suggestion here too. So what is at the end of the rainbow? Because there's a rainbow on that card. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. What is the hope and faith here for pile 1? Cassiopeia, consequences of arrogance, vanity, and pride, Queen of Fire. Yeah, it's to realize that you, pile 1, have so many things that no money can buy. How precious is that? That makes me want to cry. Oh my God. Hold on, let me clear the lens. You have so many things that money can't buy. You have love. You have family. You have friends. And if it's not companionship that we're talking about here, you have talent. You have an ability. You have talent. And none of these can be bought with money. All of these were cultivated through labor of love, either given birth to, or the friendship was cultivated, or the work or your craft was honed and cultivated and sharpened and mastered. There's mastership here. And money can't buy these things. Only time and dedication and faith and hope kept alive with the belief in this one passion, or belief in all these things you love, is what has grown them and cultivated all of this beauty and abundance that you now have, pile 1. And that's such a beautiful reminder. Sure, it's so annoying to be like dealing with people like this, or fighting. They're people, haters, jealous people, ungrateful family members or friends. Honestly, it's such a hard time right now with the world in general and where the energies are going. We're going to be in for a little bit of a rough ride, pile 1, moving forward. So it's really good to remember that the things that we often overlook and we forget to cherish are the things that no amount of money can ever replace. That's beautiful in and of itself, right? Because a lot of these fights here I'm sensing is about livelihood, about money and earning and spending, and it's all about fighting about resource or materialistic things. All of these fights and quarrels are about physical, material objects and belongings. They're not really about anything about love or about the beauty of something or the preciousness of and the rarity of something, because pile 1, we have forgotten to notice those things. So that's why the whole bonding time and camping with friends or family, regrounding in nature to allow ourselves to discharge these energies, to cleanse our auric field, to be in the present moment, to realize, to be able to see with non-distorted lenses what it is that we really do have, and to see the beauty of that is actually in front of us, rather than screaming at each other about things that won't even matter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. So I certainly hope that brought you some more peace and hope and faith. That was a really good, sweet reminder. If you would like, let's carry on to pile number 2, okay? All right, my number 2s. Let's see what cards you got. 2 of Fire, Fornax, Incubation, Pregnancy, and Ace of Fire, Sculptor, Creative Vision, Artistic Creation, the Creator. Then you have Earth, Night, Delphinus, Gesture of Goodwill, Compassion from Strangers. 4 of Earth, Corona, Australis, Extreme Action for Personal Quest. Then we have the Lovers. That's very nice. Cancer, Family Matters, Affection, Loved Ones, Connection. The Moon, Pisces, Subconscious, Indecision, Critique, Sensitivity. Last card is the Hanged Man. Faith and Guidance, Vela. Oh my goodness. These card pulls are amazing. Thank you, Spirit. Let's channel, shall we? Pile 2. I hear that you guys have been working very hard on building something over the past few years. If not a long time. It's been a long time coming, I'm hearing. And you're beginning to lose faith. You're feeling really frustrated. Look at this. Extreme action for personal quest, right? You're like, you've done everything. You've done everything. But, I hear but. I know you're rolling your eyes at this. But Spirit wants to ask you, do you really think you did everything? Or you think you did everything with what you know? That's why there's a call to the Moon to allow yourself to float and explore into moments of uncertainty. Oh, that's interesting. Not often do I hear an encouragement. Well, there's always encouragement to embrace the unknown. I think that's probably a nicer way of saying it. But here, Spirit is literally actively telling you to go and marinate and bask in the feelings of uncertainty, the feeling of not knowing, maybe feeling the state of anxiety that comes with the fear of not knowing, but not doing anything about it. Because when you are frantically trying to find a solution to do something about it, you end up just doing what you think is the most convenient and fastest way possible to resolve the seeming issue you have. And there might be other options that you're not considering because your pride or your stubbornness. There could be an aspect of you still still looking for yourself. Some of you are really young. You're like 18 to 20. You're like, oh my God, I'm not young. Well, I just turned 36 today, so I would consider you young. Well, I digress. It doesn't matter. Age ain't nothing but a number. Okay, that song applies to you from a Leo, okay? Why? Because you're thinking, oh, I am 18, 19, 20. I should be doing this and this and this by now. I should be like knowing this much by now. Or like whatever you think you need to be at whatever age, okay? Even if you're not at your teens and early 20s or whatever. Whatever you think you need to be, or wherever you think you need to be by what age, and whoever you think you need to become by what age, throw that shit out the window right now. Right, this window. Throw it out. Let me take it for you. Okay? Throwing it out the window. Why? Because this is causing you to see your life and your endeavors and your passions and your dreams through a very distorted lens, and it's causing you to live life out of an illusion of running out of time. Essentially, time still goes on whether or not we are using it or not, but you're putting yourself under such a lack-based mentality and a panic mode that you're seeing that you have less time than you actually do. Like, for instance, you've been wanting to paint and make art, but the idea of making art and making 10, let's just say 10 painted canvases a month sounds impossible to you because it's so much, right? But if you worked on it every day for like an hour, I'm sure you'll be able to complete more than 10 canvases by the end of the month, right? Let's just say, let's entertain this, 1 hour a day, and you have 30 days in a month, 30 hours. I think you can finish 10 canvases in 30 hours. I mean, I guess it depends what you're painting, but maybe it's not 10 canvases. Maybe it's your goal is just to make 4 canvases or something. You can do it. 7 hours per canvas, depending how extensive it is. And if it is extensive, then it's still possible to create a large chunk of it and complete it within a month, right? You just need to have a goal. You need to reverse engineer, I hear. Whatever it is that you want to do, think of the end goal of what it will be like accomplished, and then go backwards. So you have this thing that you want, right? It looks like this. What will it take to, when you break it down, the components to make this or accomplish this? Maybe you need X amount of resources, X amount of paint, X amount of days to do it. And you figure out how many days that is, and you crunch it into your time frame. And how many days can you fit within a week to get working on this passion of yours or this project of yours? You need to have more structure and an actual clear, concise plan. It's like working out without a goal. In the sense of like, oh, I'm just lifting some weights here and lifting some weights there. If you have an actual clear objective goal of what you're wanting to accomplish, you could set that goal within the month and reach that goal when it comes to working out by curating exactly what sort of workout you need to achieve said goal, right? It's the same with every other aspect and department of our lives. You just need to know what it is you want. Be okay with the unknown and bask in the uncertainty, because your guides, through faith and hope, will lead you there. They will lead you through sparks of inspiration, spontaneity, ideas, suggestions. But if you're too busy freaking out, you won't be there, you won't be present to hear these suggestions, right? When I look at this picture, I can't help but feel like the giant woman is like your ego and logic. And then this little person that's you in yellow, I think it's yellow-orange. Yeah, it's yellow and orange. Represents willpower, the I am, and your creativity. It's so small in comparison to your logic. Your logic is like overcrowding it. You don't even have space to paint. You don't even have space to do your work because you're not allowing space for yourself to think and flow. Some of you might be led to ask yourselves, are you working the most effectively? Because if you feel burnt out, you might not have found your work pattern yet, your work routine. You might want to try switching to a new sleep schedule, and or like divide your days up in the week of when you work and when you rest, because I'm learning that right now. I've been trying different work routines for myself over the past decade, and I finally came to the conclusion that perhaps I should try a 9 to 5 work schedule where I work 8 hours every day, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And before, I actually hated the idea, because the whole reason why I wanted to work for myself is because I didn't want to work office hours, right? Or so I thought. And I just associate the 9 to 5 with office hours so bad that I rebelled against it. So this could be an example with what I tied in earlier on with my explanation to you, pal, too. That you're like, oh, I don't want to be like those office workers. I might as well just work 9 to 5 for them then, if I'm going to wake up 9 to 5. Like, don't stigmatize it so fast. Don't be so quick to just chalk it up to one thing and throw it there and then dismiss it. That's how you overlook the possible answers, and you're frantically trying to figure out the solution, when maybe the solution is you should try working 9 to 5 and then having free days on the weekend. So far, it's been 1 week or 3 days actually since I've implemented this, and let me tell you, it has made a big change in my mental health, because just knowing on Saturday and Sundays that I am not supposed to work, it's like I've been constantly reminded to like let go and not think about it, and allow myself the permission to have fun and find inspiration or do what brings me joy, or to allow myself to rest and sleep if I must, right? But before, when I would just let myself work all the time, I was like a workaholic, and I would give myself like 1 day off in the week when I feel tired, when I feel close to spreading myself thin and burnt out, then I would rest. I noticed that I don't really have a clear goal on what I want to complete and accomplish within that month. It like loses structure, because I'm kind of just going with the flow with whenever, and I'm too willy-nilly. So I've been finding 9 to 5 works for me, so maybe it might work for you. It might even get you to start being more, I get it now, as above so below. That's what there's this card, gesture of goodwill, compassion from strangers, but it looks like as above so below, right? Masculine, feminine. I think yin is feminine, so it's shadow energy, and then yang, sun energy, night and day. So pal 2, you're learning to implement that balance of when you're allowing yourself to flow, and which aspects you're being too controlling and too masculine and rigid in, and to push it back to and holding space actively, which is a paradox. You're actively, structurally holding space for feminine energy to flow in, which is weekends, right? And then you're actively holding space for masculine energy to flow in on the weekdays. So you see this like balance, you're coming into integration, and this is what will help restore your hope and faith more, pile 2. Let's pull some more cards. This will, because you've been burnt out. You would wait until you're so burnt out before you let yourself have a break, and you feel like it's actually making you bitter, pile 2. It's making you bitter towards like, why are other people getting more results than me, and why are they accomplishing things when I'm not? And you barely feel like you have the energy left over. It's because you're working too hard, but you're not working nearly as effectively as you could be. So if you start trying new routines and implementing structures, you might be in a better mind space to start considering other things. Like, so if, for instance, before you were not considering or even allowing the idea of 9 to 5 work schedule, but now that you're trying that, you're starting to recall other things that maybe you have overlooked in the past that you didn't think were necessary, that you might be able to entertain now. And this is going to be open for new pathways for you to make more progress and growth in your personal careers, or personal careers, work, or your own personal business endeavors. So this will restore more hope for you, because there's a lot of yellow and oranges and reds here. It's going to bring in a lot more playfulness, and you're going to feel a lot more hopeful and have a lot more faith that your endeavors and whatever you're trying to build is not in vain. Let's pull a few more cards. Oh, look at this. Oh my god, I'm hearing if you love something, let it go. So in this sense, I don't think it's about relationships. I feel like it's more like you need to control. You feel like if you don't control your project or your business, or control your solution on what you're trying to build, then it'll fall apart. But that's not necessarily true. I think there's a difference here that your spirit guides want you to know, that there's a difference between control and structure. Having control and having initiative. There's a difference between control and clarity. A difference between control and precision. Difference between control and strategic. Difference in control and efficiency. Right? So you need to let go of the need to control, because this need to control is actually holding you back from making progression and growth. Telescopium, reticulum, observation, big picture, discovery. The other card you have is sextants and octants. Science, education, mentorship. Yeah, perhaps you might want to do some more research. Take some online courses. You're probably like, no, I will figure it out myself. But hey, you know, there's a lot of affordable classes and online courses that are available. You need to let go of control of the outcome and the control, the need to find a solution immediately, and be open, okay, letting that go, and be open to receiving new knowledge, new forms of structures, systems, ways of thinking, perhaps even adopting a new mindset. Yeah, I know this sounds really hard, pal, too, and it sounds like, oh my god, I have so much work to do. But hey, if you want something and you want, this is what you need, this is what you want to accomplish, you will have to do the work. And this, in many ways, I really do think owning a business or pursuing a business path or a career path, doing what it is you love, there is a huge level of doing inner work, and the inner work relating to how it will affect the outcome of how you operate business as well. Like, it really goes hand in hand, because a career would be a huge sector of your life, right? Okay, what is any more messages of hope and faith for pile 2? Okay, we're talking about competition now. Competition's underhanding you. Well, now we're talking about business. What else? I'm going to keep pulling cards before I show you. Messages of hope and faith. Okay, I get it. So, before I show you the cards I'm going to channel, before I forget, they want you to know that these businesses that you feel underhanded by, and they're like taking your ideas, or they're copying you, or whatever, these businesses or business owners are also operating this under the same pretense as you currently are, which is in a state of anxiety and lack base and lack of time, and I'm this amount of age, I need to be here by this amount of time, and I need to accomplish this by this milestone in my life. And because of that, they're also frantically trying to look for a solution too. They're also frantically trying to look for an answer, and they're not open to seeing other solutions that could make them further unique, just like how you're not open further to seeing answers that would be things that would make you stand out, that only you can do because you're you and nobody else. So as long as you stay in this current mindset, pal 2, and unwilling to change, because it's easier to stick with the devil you know than to make changes for the benefit of your own growth and development, then the outcome is that you're going to end up be playing in the same ball field as your competitors, because you guys are literally on the same vibration. You'll literally be stuck in a karmic loop pattern of being one another's competitor, and yet for some reason always being in a state of anxiety and not growing your business, because you're all currently underhanding each other. It's giving me the vibes of that one guy that bought, like, he bought out every hand sanitizer cleaning product solution from like a lot of huge flagship stores, and he was going to resell them at an incredibly like high price to everyone. So he hoarded all of the goods, and he tried to like basically undercut people. So what ended up happening was, if I can remember correctly, I'm going to link the article if I can find it in the captions for you. What happens is the government was like, nah, like you're not allowed to resell that. You bought it, you own it now. Like you can't resell that. So that was his punishment. And then they came up with more hand sanitizers and cleansing products later on. So this guy was stuck with gallons and gallons and gallons of hand sanitizer that he thought he can use it as a way to provoke an underhand and undercut people for the sake of his own personal advancement, which is in this case having a more of a monetary gain. So you understand that energy I'm talking about, right? That's the energy you're currently in, maybe not consciously or consciously, and you hate it. I feel very confident to say that you are hating it. You're going to be stuck with these people. So let's show you the card of these people, okay? It is Ace of Water, Hydras, in one's element, ease of action. But I didn't feel that. I felt it was like snake, you know? The next card was Mercury, business, sales, promises. So I just felt like snake oil salesman kind of vibes, you know? That's what it gave me. And then the reason why that further reinforced that thought was because black hole, drain of resources, dangerous undercurrent. The whole undercutting, undermining your colleagues for thinking that you can get ahead by getting many, like one over on them. Like many overs on them. And that will lead karmically, ultimately, to Comet, a sign of fate, harbinger of change. You see that monkey? Right? The monkey mind. The logic that's trapping you. That logic is your monkey mind. And look at that monkey mind. It's holding you back. You see that? That monkey is holding you back. Your monkey mind is holding you back. You'll be karmically stuck with those people. The last card that I got for messages is Three of Water. Monoceros, allure, purity, confidence, appreciation for another. Yeah, so the first step you can do to take to get out of this mindset and vibrationally elevate yourself from being stuck karmically on the same level as these people is to begin finding the appreciation of these people, finding the appreciations of your competitors, and seeing that you guys, instead of being like, oh my god, you're stealing my ideas and you're like buying out my customers or whatever, see it as, oh my god, you're part of my community. You're part of the community of people that we share the same passion for, that we love so much that we're actually trying to do our best to fight over for it. Like we share the same common path. I'm not alone on this. There are people that can celebrate this together with, you know, but we have just lost our way in the sense that we start becoming afraid that we're no longer supporting each other and encouraging each other and promoting each other and collaborating with each other, but instead we're taking from one another, and we're stealing and we're lying to one another, and or we're trying to manipulate and influence potential existing loyal customer base to believe in the gossips I hear of one another. And so that does nothing but put more poison into the community. It does you no good to talk poorly about other people who are the same competitor as you when you guys share the same love for the same community, which is why you are pursuing your passions or in the same industry work field in the first place, pal, too. So your messages of hope and faith is that if you break out of this rut of mind over matter and letting your monkey mind control you, if you break out of that and you find appreciation for your community, even your competitors, even though they did really effed up stuff to you, you can somehow find the appreciation and the beauty in what it is they do. That will quickly loosen you up to look into the unknown and go into an academic mindset of learning new things and evolving into a more unique you that specializes in what you can offer into the community, and you will find a more particular niche that only you can fulfill. And that in return, my friend, will give you a lot more hope and faith in the world, because we're lacking that. We're lacking camaraderie, we're lacking teamwork, we're lacking support, encouragement, appreciation, we're lacking community. So implementing the soul back into your reason why you're doing what you do, and will help you reconnect back to your original why of why you started it in the first place. Pile 2. I certainly hope that brought you faith and hope. You can check out my latest video. Here's a playlist of my pick a card readings. If you want to check out what I have in my shop, you want to book a tarot reading or buy my clothing designs, feel free to take a look. And I'll see you in the next video in the playlist.